How y'all doing? Mental health check-in. Hope y'all staying in there. If you're not, if you are feeling down, remember progress. I believe progress is the secret. Maybe it's not a secret to being happy. I know being happy it sounds like a very general thing, and sometimes like when I am having issues like I guess fully feeling it and accepting like the happiness, and I'm like is this all worth it? What am I doing this for? And you're kind of reflecting on your why and stuff like that. And I feel like in that day I end up going to the gym, even though I don't feel like it. I might even still make myself a decent meal, like eggs and sausage. I'm not saying that's like this decent meal, but when I'm feeling just like I don't even want to eat nothing and being lazy, or just feeling like I ain't even worth making some food for her. So if I'm making food for somebody else too, I'm like gonna make food. I could just eat some bullshit or nothing. And unfortunately, it's something that I could just think, look, I'm just not worth it to myself. And I just want you to remember, like you are, but you got to keep on doing it, and it will just become more of a pattern, and you're not even like second thinking it. And maybe it's also an ADHD thing, um, in terms of how do I say it? And sometimes having ADHD, simple tasks like maybe brushing your teeth, taking a shower, making yourself a decent breakfast in the morning, just whatever, it could feel like a chore. And I'm just learning a lot about just trying about ADHD in general with my daughter, but I just question certain things with myself. Also, dyslexic. I could potentially be, but she is my daughter, and uh, wondering about being on the spectrum. She ain't necessarily on it, but well, maybe dyslexic kind of thing. But I feel like I'm probably really ill myself, and I don't look at that as this like bad thing. Say, what's up, Jelly Roll? um, and I'm not saying that's not necessarily like a bad thing. Like I want to know and get tested, and know all that, just because I could understand the mind of one better, and I could do research and be like, oh, that's why this and that. This makes sense. Because sometimes I feel like when it'd be like, hey, do you ever feel like you're not like everybody else, or you think like this and that? And sometimes at first I'm like, yeah, I feel like this, and they'll keep going. And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't even feel like I'm relating to the person that is saying like that they kind of relate, or like you do you ever just not feel normal and you relate to this, and then I don't even relate to that shit. Sometimes I'm like, damn, like um so like I'm just trying to figure out like I don't know, like my path and flow and thought process with some of the things, because it kind of sounds like this is the underdog, like the second thing that most people are, and I'm not even that. I'm probably like third or fourth of different mindsets of way people think. One thing I'm going to say that's very interesting, getting off track, is I've learned listening to Ty Lopez that most people are either emotional or off knowledge. So they base a lot of things and what they think and what they do either off emotion or off facts. And most people right now, if you say that, they are thinking which one they are. And most are going to say facts. And right now, the majority of people are actually emotion. And I actually think a lot of guys actually that think that they're based off facts really are based off emotion, because a lot of them, and just even some women, they can dish a lot out and be like, that's just facts, I'm just saying like it is. But then when you say real stuff back to them, they cannot accept it, and they get emotional, they can get loud, they get angry, they get flustered, and they don't know how to articulate themselves, how to explain what's going on and try to. And I'm really not good at it either, but I'll trying my best to explain it and understand my own emotion to explain it to people, or like whoever you're dating, wife, girlfriend, for other people. I mean, I'm saying this for other people, but I mean for me, it's my girl, and I don't know, it's a perspective that really gets me kind of like thinking. how a lot of these just tough shell try to be kind of people are really just kind of cookie. Like, they either soft, they're trying to come off, which I'm not even like saying this is a bad thing, or they're like those really hard cookies that are just ready to crumble. Like you could, like those are the people on the edge, and you could just be an asshole to them that day, and that's the day that they just flip out. That's the day that they hurt themselves. It's just, I feel like some people are just way softer than you think, or some people are they're just so close to being broken, and it's sad. It really is, and I feel like that so much on and off myself sometimes. But I think ultimately, like, I know like there's a purpose, and that if I don't do it, who's gonna do it? Like, I want to do it for my family, but I want to do it for a lot of animals out there and for the kids out there. So much funds and things I want to do. And it's kind of like, if it's been this long and no one's done it, how am I gonna expect someone's gonna do it later? If there's a cat hungry down the street and cold, and you're like, well, somebody else will do it. Who else is gonna do it? Who? You will fucking know. But who's gonna do it? Are you gonna call for help? Are you gonna try to get them help? Because maybe someone else will do it. Especially if you put it out there, you let people know. You contact the community, 311, 911. You take it in somewhere. You start hitting neighbors' doors, doing whatever. You bring it into your house for as long as you can, and still do that. There's all this so much, and there's so much we can do, and we're not living up to our potential. And sometimes I feel like, man, like, am I just useless? And and I'm ultimately like, I know I'm not. I could do a lot for myself, I could do a lot for my family, but sometimes it's like you just don't know how you're gonna do it. You just feel like you were given these cards, and you've been changing them, trading them, throwing them out, getting new ones in. But sometimes you want a book to happen that's just not happening, and you're just not sure how you about to move on, how you about to get that book when your cards aren't lining up like that. So you're trying to meet other people, see their cards, and see if you can make trades. And that's why I feel like it's a lot of being aware of your surroundings, being aware of opportunity, but also not using people, actually having good intentions. When you offer help, you're not expecting things in return. If you are expecting things in return, make sure up front you are fully explaining this, because I feel like communication is key for a lot of things. Even when I did pest control, I very much so explain the service and understanding of everything, and before they sign up, because I understand this costs money. I ain't playing about people's money, but also too, I ain't trying to do a service and then they're trying to bullshit me. So I'm doing that, sign that before I get going. Make sure you cool with this, because I'm cool with it. If you ain't cool with it, I'm about to go. People tweaking me out. It's bad out there. Talking about this real quick, there'd be somebody that's a snowblower, and they be snowblowing like 4 houses, or I don't know if they switch off blowers. They all have blowers. They all do it at the same time. They never do my house, even though it's the last one. There's a parking lot there. Not that they need to, but I just kind of be like, damn, y'all don't even offer it. And then I go out there, I shovel, I get my car out, and then that ends up being like a spot there. And then there's two in front, but two parked there. This guy moves, so I shovel this out. I go take a drive. This car's still there. This car leaves. I park there, and I shovel all this out for them. So I even gave them a spot. So there's 3 spots. That another car across the street, I shovel that spot off, but a spot in the front, a spot in the back, to guarantee me a spot. Because if those cars leave, my other car could dip in. I'll show y'all actually. What the fuck is this car doing? Actually, these people are tweaking me out for a second. These plows. They about to plow the block? Did I do all that for nothing? These people are about to plow for us? He about to plow for us? Well, not even gonna show it because I feel weird looking out the window. I feel like the guy's probably like, why is this guy recording me? But I shoveled a bunch of these spots out. I made 3 car spots on my side and 1.5, well, kind of like 2 in a way across the street, so I can either move my other car up to make it park in, or the people that I helped get in and out, they leave, that helps me get a parking spot. And not even one for myself. And I cleaned them both cars off, even though one's probably not gonna get used. I want to make sure that my girl got a spot. That's the important part. I want to make sure it's cleaned off for her. Make sure she has a spot. Make sure the steps are salted for her, for the kids. That's the important part. Screw the rest. I do care about doing the sidewalk for people walking by, especially elderly people walking their dog, people with strollers. So I don't care. I'll go out there, I'll shovel it and get it done. But salting is also important if you have it. I was about to go with a table saw. Luckily, we found some. All right, y'all have a good one, though. Peace. Stay warm out there. All right.